Okay, no, thank you for having me. I want to welcome you in Mpungu constituency. This is our office. The first question is, what are some of the development that took place in my constituency for the past 4 years? Yeah, let me start with some development that took place in Mpungu constituency. I will start with Ministry of Information, your ministry. The moment I entered this office, there was only two towers in the whole constituency. And as you know, Mpungu is very vast. And that was the tower in Mpungu itself, as well as the one at Katwitwi. But as I'm speaking now, as I'm reporting to you now, I'm a happy councillor because 5 more towers were added during the 4-5 years. This tower were erected one at Kakwa, one at Gawa, one at Rukura, and the other one at Kasera, and the last one at Bravo settlement. As I'm speaking now, I can access people from Bravo as well as Zigizi. Unlike in the past, if you want to go to Zigizi, you have to drive instead of just call and give the information that you want to pass. Even though we have now 7 towers, we still have some villages that we cannot access, especially when you draw from Kurenkuru. Just a 10 kilometers, then you are offline until you reach Mpungu. We have planned that if we can have one tower at Smanya and the other one at the side of Mpapama, then we will meet the call for the ministry that 100% everywhere. Still, we do need some towers for us to reach the 100% coverage in our constituency. Beside the tower, education we have also pushed. Let me start with electricity. When I came to this office, I found most of the schools, starting from grade 0 to 7, were not having electricity. But I'm happy to report that none of my school now, from grade 0 to 7, without electricity. We have pushed the schools which were not having electricity from grade 0 to 7, like Mukekete, Mungomba, Mpapama, Okandumbu, Skumba. As I'm speaking, those schools, they are now having electricity. The only school that we're having grade 0 to 7 does not have electricity is Kause, but currently, as I'm speaking, the construction is under our way. Even if you could pass that way, you will testify that the contractor are busy at the site. We are only left with few schools with grade 0 to 3 without electricity. But as I'm speaking, Runda and Nge, the construction is underway. Now I'm left with Potomukukutu, Dakwa, Chohwa, Sumwege, Kaguni, and Mkambo. Those are only few that we have challenged that they did not have electricity. And I want to emphasize that those schools that I have mentioned, most of them are having temporary structures. Yeah. And I'm also happy to report that we have managed to have 2 new hostels in my constituency, namely Smanya as well as Mkekete. Mkekete is a grade 0 to 7, but the government and the partner stakeholder have come up with the idea just to construct a hostel. As I'm speaking now, our learners at Mkekete, they are enjoying the priority of the hostel. Despite that, we have a project which is running, which is behind our office, called Mpungu under Nila Lake project. This project is a big project. The constituency office have come up with the idea that we have to bring those skilled guys who was using excess to make furnitures, for us to see how we can meet them halfway. By doing so, Nila Lake have met us halfway. Then we have formed up a cooperative called Mpungu Woodwork Carpentry. As I'm speaking, the workshop is equipped with different machines. Our youth are now at the position, at the site. After this interview, we can go so that you can just testify yourself. This is the project that is bringing some bread and butter to the table. Despite the construction of the workshop, we have many components in this project. One of the components is the harvesting of devil's claw. Most of our community have been educated how to harvest devil's claws so that they can bring bread and butter to their table. When we talk about harvesting of devil's claw, you have to teach a person how to just harvest without killing that plant. That is what we are doing. And as I'm speaking, most of the family have benefited from this project by harvesting devil's claw. One of the components beside devil's claws is a component of goat revolving. As you know, we have the one which is run by the Ministry of Agriculture, Water and Land Reform, and the one that is run by our Ministry of Urban and Rural Development. And in Mpungu, we have 3 now. The third one is from Nila Lake. Nila Lake, we have come up with the idea of giving a family 15 goats. And in the 15 goats that we are giving it intentionally for revolving purposes. The person could be given 15 goats. When that goats multiply, when it reaches 30 or 40, then we have to go back to the community, asking the community who will be the next beneficiary. By doing so, we want to fight poverty. We want everybody, or if they take care of this initiative, most of the people in the community will be having access to the goats. That's the project which is running in our constituency. We have now 3, one for Nila Lake, one for our Minister of Urban, and the third one is for Ministry of Agriculture. Yeah, at Gaba, the same project, we have a garden. We have a garden as well as a building for thatch grass, because we have realized that there are some of our community who harvest grass, especially thatch grass, and these people don't have market. Then this project have come up with the idea that no, to meet those people halfway, we have to construct for them a building. When they are done with the harvest, we have to install the thatch grass in that area. Then from there is when we will now call the Ministry of Agriculture, especially the veteran department, to go and inspect or do From there, then we will now look for the marketing. We are always trying this to medicate the middlemen, because these people do these things deliberately with their hard working, but at the end of the day, someone will just come with tin, fish, sugar, and grab the thing that they have got. From beside the Nila Lake project, or before I can go to Minister of Environment, this project also have helped us with the drilling of 2 boreholes. We have a borehole at Namgundo, as well as Kata, and the installation of 2 boreholes again, with solar pumps, one at the Kata, and the other one behind this office. Because the colleagues now at the project, they are using water from the constituency office. Now for us now not to spend a lot on electricity, they have come up with the idea that we need also to put this pump on solar. As I'm speaking, our pump at the constituency office is working on both solar and electricity. Then Ministry of Environment and Tourism is still the one who did the project, who gave us the project for Nila Lake. But still, I'm proud that a lot have been done by this ministry. I think you have testified yourself. As you know, Mpungu is starting from Mutengo to Katwitwi. This ministry assisted us a lot, especially on water issue. They have come up with the idea of area which were prone to crocodile. We call them crocodile prone areas. And we have identified most of the village in the downs, starting from Mutengo. As I'm speaking, Mutengo is having a new borehole, and people are access to the water, as well as Karai, Kanyikama, Kahoro, Namtundu, Mbambi, Makambu, and Katwitwi. Those people are drinking the water from the ministry. Even though some village like Mbambi at the road, as well as Nkoro and Tuguva, were not considered, but I was informed that they will be reconsidered. There was just an oversight. That's why those 3 villages, and as well as Mavenge, as well, they will be considered at the later stage. The same ministry, despite the crocodile-prone areas, they have managed to drill boreholes. You know, Mpungu is going to become settlement. In Mpungu itself, they have drilled 2 boreholes. One is just outside the, close to the road, as well as Gode, Munkata, Dema, and Ngandu. Beside Ngandu and Dema, these 5 boreholes were installed, and the equipments are at the site, and people are access to the water. I understand that the 2 now, which I was mentioned, Ngandu and Dema, the water is not fit to human consumption. But what we are doing at our constituency level, we don't bother to go to another village if we did not sort out the village that we have earmarked before. From beside the ministry, we are lucky on water issue. Recon Africa have also given us 3 boreholes at Sondorokeni, Bravel Mankumpi, as well as Runone Tumweneni. As I'm speaking, people are drinking water from this source. Totally, you can see that we have 17 boreholes drilled in the 4 years, which is a big achievement. Under safety and security, we have managed to put up Namasira checkpoint. I think you can testify when you go to the north, you have to pass Namasira checkpoint. It was not there before. but with the work collaboration with the minister and the regional leadership, we have put up a Namasira checkpoint. As I'm speaking, the power is also the Namasira checkpoint. And we are now crying for us also to have a checkpoint at Kapereki, Lavi, because we can understand that animals are going daily. That's why we emphasize more that if we can get a farmer who can give us a land for us to set up our safety and security staff, then we will be happy. I want to emphasize that the water at Namasira is supposed to be drilled the same day with the one at Kapereki, because we were given a donor have given us 2 boreholes, the one at Namasira and the one which is supposed to be at Kapereki. Unfortunately, the farmer who was given us the land, he turned his back afterwards when he heard that we are heading to drill. Then he said, no, you have to consult the family. That's why I'm saying we will be happy if we will get a farmer who can assist us, a plot, especially those who are residing at the Kapereki. Besides that, we are still waiting for Mpungu Class C police station. It is in the MTEF. This year it's supposed to start with 5 million. And if that will be constructed, then Mpungu will become a full settlement. You know, in Kavango West, we have 2 now. In Mpungu is having 2 settlements, Mpungu constituency, Mpungu Flay itself, as well as Katwitwi settlement. Ministry of Works and Transport, we, as you know, that we have a project which is running from Kurenkuru to Nepara, even though it was halted. But our understanding is that very soon it's going to assume, it's going to start. And then our access road will be now 100%. Beside the project for Gava, Kurenkuru Nepara Gava, we still have access road which is running, from Mankumbi to Kapako, Tondoro via Mpungu, which is Chalikat line. As I'm speaking, that project is now in Mpungu constituency. I think before March or April, they will reach Kapereki. That's a gravel road. And an access road from Bravo Gate to Bravo Primary School. Feasibility study was done, and we are just waiting the award. Then the construction of the road will assume to get our San people in Bravo. Those are some activity among many which have taken, which have happened in Mpungu constituency for 4 years.
Just before we move on to the next question, I just wanted to highlight some of the questions that I've written down while you were highlighting the developments. In terms of the roads, is there still a need for roads, especially gravel roads in your constituency?
Yeah, definitely. As you know, a road is very, very important, especially on farmers. A farmer can do production, but without access road to the market, that's a very challenging. I therefore still see that there's a need for the constituency to have more gravel roads. Okay. Yeah.
I'm moving on to the boreholes now. You said there are 17 now in the past 4 years that 17 were constructed.
Yeah.
How many more are still needed, or which other villages still don't have boreholes?
To be honest, Mpungu is the biggest constituency in Kavango West region. those 17 is like a drop in the ocean. We still need more. Because Mpungu itself is having 472 villages. And we, for the previous now, let me say for the previous 10 years, we only have reached 50% of our target. And we still need 50% to meet our targets.
Okay. Now, in terms of that goat project that you're talking about, do you give, how many houses have benefited so far from this project?
Yeah, for Nila Lake, the beneficiary were 16 houses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they all got 15 goats per house?
Yeah, per household.
Mm-hmm.
And for Ministry of Urban, they give 10.
Okay.
10 goats.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then the network coverage, how many more towers do you guys need, for example, to just reach the 100% coverage?
For Mpungu to meet the 100% coverage, we still need more. 4 or 3 tower can do. Yeah, 4 or 3 tower can do. Namely the one at Smanya, it was already planned. Mpapama, as well as Kause, because from Mpungu, if you drove just, let me say, 3 to 4 kilos, then you are cut off until you reach the area of Kasera, is when you only will get connected. Then we need one at the site of Nkata and Nandingwa. And this one, I understood that the ministry went there, or the person who was given tender went there, and he did the siting. We are just waiting for the construction.
Okay.
And we still need the one for the side of Nge. Yeah.
Okay, just lastly on the questions, you spoke of the Devil's Claw harvest. Is it ongoing or is it now, it's not the harvesting project? Yeah,
no, it's an ongoing project. You know, in Mpungu, we want to do things sustainable. We don't want these projects just to run because it is now been catering for the donors who are looking after. But our idea is that even those people are going, our people are been arguing so that they can still run the projects, because they are now introduced to the buyers and they have signed a contract, and this contract can be renewed every year. Our idea is that this project must just be sustained. Yeah.
But are they harvesting now, or it's not harvesting?
No. We only harvest twice in a year. From January to May, then from May to October. Yeah, twice a year.
But it's not nearby, so we will collect some visuals.
Some visual of David's Claw. Let me.
Harvest. Is it far away?
No. At Katope we can maybe get. We'll just contact the person, then we can see if we can get, so that you can have the sample.
Okay. Unless you have a question, maybe we can move on to the challenges. Okay, then we can move on to the challenges that the constituency has experienced for the past 4 years.
All right.
No. Before we moved, where you say the water is not for women consumption, what did your office do on that note?
Yeah, we have submitted this to the ministry responsible, because they say there's a way they can treat that water. Now we are just waiting that initiative, if they can now come up with that idea for desalination, or what they call it. Yeah. Because especially at Ngandu, we have now 3 boreholes. The very first one, the water is not fit to human consumption. Then we drill the second one. This is the third one that we have drilled. We don't think that we can still drill one, unless we have to just come up with the idea of treat the water for human consumption. Yeah, challenges is obvious. As I'm, as a human being, you can see. Where I was talking last for Devil's Claw. You see, when people were called, that is one of the challenges. When people were called to be trained, most of those people, they say no, we are not able to harvest Devil's Claw or whatever. But when the others now harvest and sell, is when they also come in and want to do the marketing. And in this process, you see, if you are not trained, then you will, instead of leaving the plant, then you will kill the plant because you are not trained. That is one of the challenges. Beside that one, I'm very disappointed, especially with the zone green scheme, which is very overdue. I want to thank Ukwangari Traditional Authority to avail land to the ministry. But as I'm currently speaking, that land is still idling and people are encroaching. People are encroaching because they see the land is vacant and they want to take over. Yeah, that's why I can see that if the ministry are relaxing, people will encroach and will take over the green scheme. And this is one of the projects that can unlock us, especially when we come to unemployment. That's the reason why we have the TA have given the land. But to our disappointment, it's going very slow, at a slow pace. Beside that one, we are also, or I'm also not satisfied when we come to CDF, Constituency Development Fund. An office like this without a budget, it's not easy. A person comes from his house, you have lost maybe something on fire or hunger, strike, but when that person comes to the office, there's nothing that we can give because we don't have a budget. But if we could have a constituency development fund, then you can see the way and means how you can meet those people halfway. It even forced us to take from our pocket. This is something that we need to see how we can implement this scheme, because an office like this needs to have its own budget where you can able to solve small issue rather than relying on the national level. Beside that one, we also still have a problem with new pay points, especially for our elders. There are villages where you can walk up to 10 kilometers to get your salary or pensioners. And we have put up this submission since we entered the office in 2015. But still, this is a predicament we are sitting in. And when people come, we don't have answer. We don't have an answer because we were told that until the service provider is now busy, we are now busy giving the service. It's only when he's going to when his tenure is going to lapse, it's only when they are going to put some new point. And this is not in Mpungu constituency, but it's across the board. Mpungu is a big constituency. We have put up some plan for our roads to be constructed, but so far we only have now the one which is running from Kurenkuru Nepara, as well as the access road that I was mentioning. But beside that, we want also to thank the government that they have done a lot in Mpungu when we come to roads. We have the one that comes from Kurenkuru to the north, it passes Mpungu, as well as the one for Chinjabes to Kachiti, and the gravel road. Yeah, but still, we need more. Beside that, we have also challenge on clinics. People from Zigizi, Bravo, and Parara. It's very far. Not Mparara, but Mpapama. Those people have to travel to Mpungu, especially the Mpapama ones, 35, 40 kilos, to access themselves for health. And the people from Bravo, they have to rely on transport. When they are sick, if the Ministry of Health does not have a transport, then they have to come to the constituency. They have to put in the constituency to see how we can go and unlock that problem. This is the most challengeable thing that we have. I'm very disappointed. One day when I went to Zigizi, I find a boy bitten by a snake, and it's gone. I have to cancel my meeting to load the cops to Nkurenko. That's why I can see that there's a higher demand, especially for those villages who are very far in the remote area to be considered when we come to clinics. Now what we can do if we are having a sick patient in Bravo, that patient have to be brought to Mpungu. If that patient is to be sent to Nankudu, you have to send that patient to Nankudu. And the special of our people, especially those San community members, after discharge, you have to take that patient back because they don't have means of going back to Bravo. Bravo is from Mpungu is 110, then from Nankudu is 180 plus. There's no way unless you have to bear the consequence to take them. And to me now, for construction of a clinic, it's much better than transporting them to and from. Besides that, the last challenge that I want to emphasize is the vastness of Mpungu constituency. If our government can speed up the process of demarcating, then we will talk about service delivery. But as I'm speaking now, Mpungu is very vast. From Tengo to Katwitwi, then from Katwitwi to Bravo. Katwitwi to Insu is a vast constituency in Kavango West, I think in Namibia as well. Then service delivery here is a challenge for us to just see how we can give service to our resident unless Mpungu is demarcated into two. A proposal has been made, but we don't know for how long it will take for the implementation. That is the only way we can deliver to our best.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see that when you were noting down your challenges, you did not talk anything about criminal activities that are happening in your constituency. Can you maybe just brief us on that one?
Yeah, obvious criminal is a is a challenge. Criminal is a challenge. Recently or last year, before we enter Christmas, I have emphasized on the issue of stock theft. For us being at the border, we are facing a lot of stock theft. Most of our people lost daily their animals. Now, when we talk about animals, we talk about donkeys and cattle. Those are the most criminality that's going on in our constituency. Besides that, GBV is obvious. People are still accusing one another, especially gender-based violence. It's still ongoing. But even though we are preaching, but it's not easy. Yeah.
Now you've highlighted the projects and the challenges.
Yeah.
What more would you want the government to do for the constituency?
Yeah. For me, if that question comes like that, I would want to say that our government must rely on the priority especially on the mid-term frame, medium-term frame. Yeah. Because this book is having all the projects for each region. Like the project for Bravo, we're supposed to upgrade Bravo to a secondary school. It have been year in, year out in the MTEF, but the project is not come to its realization. I therefore argue the government that if something is placed in the MTEF by National Planning Commission, we need to just focus on that project until it's going to finish. But for Bravo now, I'm happy because the bidding have started running as of the 13th of December. Now, I'm happy. Zone Green Scheme. I will preach Zone Green Scheme until I'm going out of the office. Because this is the project that can unlock our economy. This is the only project that will unlock our economy, and it will even reduce youth unemployment. I need government to intervene. If they can even get someone who can do triple P or whatever, that will be the best. Otherwise, if zone is not put in place now, we are going to lose this land. Because as I earlier alluded, people are encroaching in the area where the green scheme was allocated. I would also want to see the constituency development funds to be realized, because that's the only way for the councillor to address his resident whenever activity or emergency come in place. But with this, without the CDF, we are just here to advise, but we are not taking action. If you want to take action, unless you have to dig your pocket. Construction of clinics, I think is one of the very important things for us, just to avoid the burden of our people to travel a long distance to go and look for assistance. MTC Tower, as I already alluded, government have done a lot, but we still need for us to realize 100% coverage. Those 3 or 4 which is left, we need to see them so that we can, every person in Namibia can have access to a network. Road construction for our farmer to have their production to the market, government have to do more. I know I'm also government, we are government, but our government have to do more. That's the only way when we are going to say that development is realized. Those are some observation that I've seen, that if the government can realize that, then we'll talk about development.
Lastly, your message, especially to the community members, like you have said, sometimes you bring projects, they don't want to be involved, but when they see harvest, that's when they also want. What is your message?
No, my message to the people is that the only way for us to survive is just to work. I have realized, for me being in this office, that our people like talking. But when you come up with the idea, they will hold their hands. But only when they see the production is when they will now come in and want to intervene. I want just to tell them that gone are those days for talking. Let's walk the talk, rather than blaming games. Blaming games, councillor, what. But we need to tell the people that, please, let's wake up, let's work. That's the only way for us to fight poverty.